so excited to be with you guys for another card. This one is going to be um, a little bit more detailed. We are going to do some coloring. We are going to use some stamps that are not used, like we're going to use some birthday stamps with a spring. I know the little ducks, I totally forgot the little ducks had their little hats on, but we're just going to act like that's not there. And that they're just spring. I mean, I love the little geese or ducks or goose or whatever you want to call them. We are using a few new things and a few old things, and I love mixing and matching all of the things. I think that this is going to turn out so cute and so springy. Let's get started. All right, so we have a new video set up. I am trying to use my big camera instead of my phone so that I'm not constantly out of storage on my phone. Ugh, I hate iPhones. So, if my lighting is a little off, I'm sorry. I will get better at it. I will figure it out. But let's carry on. So many cute things coming out with Bass and Bliss during this time of year. All of the spring things, let me tell you guys, we have so much going on over at Bass and Bliss. You need to head over there or over to the shop. It's just so, oh gosh. Just like this stamp, loving this background stamp. I can't get enough of this. And then these little ducks. Aren't they so adorable? So they came out in the release last time. Loving it. We are going to start out with a light yellow. I was hoping I had a little bit lighter of a background paper yellow. Okay, let me start that over. A little bit lighter of yellow for the background, but I couldn't find it. It's okay. But we're going to stamp this over, and voila, we have our own pattern paper. Except you're going to see me switch it because my grip mat must have moved. And yeah, and so it didn't stamp down perfectly, of course, but that's okay. That's why we have the back of the paper too. So we just flip that boy right over and we are going to stamp with this. All right, so I'm gonna get that done so that can just sit over there and dry. And then we are going to cut out our center. We're gonna use the third little oval in there of our stitched ovals. And okay, so here I've cut out my oval, and now I'm starting to place my stamps. I've kind of placed everything on how I would like them. And now we're gonna have to do a little bit of masking. I shouldn't say a little, quite a lot. Honestly, we don't even have to really mask this one. We just are gonna have to. Okay, so what you want to do when you're making a scene is you're going to stamp everything that is in front first and then start going backwards. So my little duck is going to be in the front, and then the flowers in the back, and then my little birdhouse I want that to be the furthest thing back. Again, when I start stamping this, honestly, we might, change. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here for you guys so you can see it. I'm going to start doing this and show you every step because I know I get a lot of questions on my scene stamping and everything, but it does take a little bit of time, but honestly, I think I love the way it comes out. This is a perfect place to start on just a little scene. I just wanted a little one today, and we'll take it from there. So let's see where we go. So as you can see, I am jumping back and forth a little bit in between editing me and past me, filming me. There we go, filming me. I just thought it was a little better. I don't know. We'll kind of see. So what we're going to do is we're going to start our masking here. This is the part where I get a lot of questions. I get a little confusion. Guys, as much as I have done scene cards at this point, I still get a little confused and have to really think it through sometimes. So you'll see a lot of that. But everything that whatever is in the front is what you want to stamp first. So we want our little goose guy to be in front. So I'm going to stamp him down, and then I am using just Gina K masking paper to stamp that little guy down. And then I'm gonna have to cut that, which I will do with the power of editing right there, because you guys don't need to see all that fussy cutting. We're gonna put him down. Um, Also, like, sometimes think about your images. If you don't need the inside of his legs cut, you don't think there was going to be something there, you know, then you don't have to cut in there. That's kind of what I did right there. Next, we are going to do our flowers. And as you can see on this one, from the way that I placed the flowers on the left, I'm not even going to have to mask those either. So sometimes try it. I mean, as much as I love the results of masking, I will try and sometimes go out of my way not to mask something. And then in the scene, you can kind of place it with your marker, your alcohol markers. So that little flower over there, I kind of realize it right here, and you're going to see me like wipe off one of the flowers and be like, oh yeah, I don't need that one. So, but even if I did, I always save all of my masks. So I think you see at the end of this one where I will go through and put all of my masks on the plastic piece of my stamps. And that way I don't have to mask them again come down the line. I can just go and stamp and my mask is already done. You can definitely use most of these masks, especially with alcohol markers, because you're not coloring over top of them. And generally when you are inking over them, that might be a little bit of a different. But when you're just using your alcohol markers and stamping over them, generally you can use them like 2 and 3 times over. All right, so here we go. Doing the little birdhouse. Bam. Got that one down. And this is honestly pretty simple. It's a little spot, so it is pretty simple masking for this one. I'm going to do that one twice just because I wanted that black circle to be nice and black. And that is it. I was going to put a little birdie in there. I kind of forgot to do the bird before, again, because the bird would be in front here. I'm going to try and fit him in. And then I'm like, yeah, it's just not going to work. So it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Next card I do, I will remember to do that. But generally I would have wanted to do the bird before the bird house because it would have been in front, or his little feet would have been in front. But there we go. So now we got those out of there. There you go. You just see me. I put that mask on that piece of plastic to save it for later because we don't want to be doing all that fussy cutting every single time. But we have our duck in front and our flowers in the back, and we are ready to start coloring over here. All right, so we are going to start getting out our alcohol markers now. I do use our Ohuhus for my alcohol markering. All right, so we are going to start with our coloring. I did speed it up a bit, about 2.5 times. We are starting with our GY7. I hope I kept all of the caps in here, but I probably didn't. I was trying to do a better job at that, but also I was pretty zoomed in. So, and I love holding on to caps. I don't know. So I am going to start with my GY7, which is going to cover up most, I'll just put this base coat down. And then we'll go back in and put little details. It's really more about just like kind of putting, you know, splotches everywhere and then blending them out to make it look a little bit more realistic, of course. I do go to about eye level to bring the horizon line. That's just what I've been taught on how to find my horizon lines pretty much. As you can see, look at me, my good job of doing my GY1 was my next one. This color combination I wasn't the happiest with, honestly. I think I usually start with a different color. And I was obviously just too lazy to look up my color combinations. And it's been a while since I've colored, to tell you the honest truth. I've been doing a lot of die cutting and stamping and heat embossing, and not a ton of coloring lately. So, yeah, sometimes that's why I always say you got to practice. You got to practice because honestly, I am a little bit out of practice. So my darkest was my GY2. So I just went in there with that, and now I'm just going back to my GY1 to kind of take that GY2 and spread it out some. and kind of fill in this and get rid of a lot of that GY7 is what it is. So now I'm going back over everything with the GY7 to blend it all back out, push that around a little bit. Again, I'm hoping, I tried my best to stay in the frame, but I was zoomed in pretty close. And like I said, I'm getting real used to this new setup. I can completely see that it's not bright enough. I got to work on my settings a little bit. We're going to work on our settings a little bit, and, you know, we'll get it together here, guys. It was just my first time, again, because that darn iPhone never have enough storage. All right. I did want some different greens. To make my leaves pop a bit. It's kind of hard when you're using all, you know, greens to make things stand out. So I did go with a little bit of a deeper green. I think I used GY42, I believe. I believe it was 42. Oh, we just didn't even do our greens on our leaves. We just hopped right to our sky. I thought I did my leaves first. It's all good. Okay, we're going to hop over. You're going to be like, wait, I thought you used Ohus. Yes, I have been lately picking up one or two Copics here and there to fill in some of the gaps of the Ohus that I have found. And my main things that I find are the very, very light colors. In the Copics, the B quads, B quad zeros, the triple zeros, the double zeros, that's where I feel like Ohuhu very lax in their color range. So I do a lot of skies, so I figured the investment is pretty good. And Michaels did run that sale of like buy 2 get 3 free, or buy 3 get 2 free. I can't remember, a while back ago. So I picked up those ones plus a couple of E's, because also that is another downfall in the Ohu markers is their earth tones for sure. So, okay, there we go. Now I went back into the leaves. So as you can see, I used the white paper though to have a little bit of clouds in there. So I just kind of went through and went over that with the B000 and B00. All right, so, oh, there's another cap in my hand, so I can't see it. But I do believe it was GY42 and G260. They're still at my desk, so that was good. G260 and GY42 for those. I'm going to paint just our little orange legs here. I think that was Y172 is what it was. It was like Tiger Lily. I think I remember. That's my go-to for orange pretty much. So I always remember that one. Missed a couple of leaves back there. Next, we're going to do our flowers. We either do the flowers or... Nope, we're going to do the birdhouse. I was going to say, I think I do actually the birdhouse. And I went from E220, which is what I'm using, my base color right here. I'm just going to put that all in, to BY2 to BY, or BR2 to BR1. If you guys do want these color combinations, please just let me know in the comments, and I'll start putting them in the descriptions for you guys. I just don't know how many of you are using Ohus. I know they're getting a lot more popular as they are a bit more, you know, affordable. So, you know, and these also, I should mention, are the old numbers. So if you do have the new markers with the new caps, unfortunately you are going to have to do the conversion or whatever, because I have not went through and done the conversion on any of these. So all right, this is my BR1. So now I'm taking that. Yeah, I think I did the BR. No, I think that was my BR2. Yeah, I think my BR1 was my darkest, BR2 was my midtone, and 322 was, or 220 was my lightest. Love the way that this came out though. That was really good. I love that one. Next up, I do believe is now the flowers, I swear. Like, now the flowers. Oh, it's little beak. I'm still wrong. And I literally just did this card a couple hours ago. Oh, no, I'm right. The flowers. Okay. So I wanted these a little bit yellower, and they came out a little bit more orange. Again, you know, practicing those color combinations is definitely key in, you know, using your markers and getting to know your markers. And I thought this was going to come out a little bit more yellow than it did. That's okay though. I ended up liking the end result, so I kept it. I could have color glazed over with a yellow to make them more yellow, but I was like, you know what? I think actually they were gorgeous. So they came out just like a little orangey. So, but that was YR172, YR4, and YR240 is my color combination on that one. Good thing I left my markers out on my desk and didn't put them all away like I should have. I would have never remembered all these colors. Next up is we're going to give this a pop of purple. I thought the pop of purple magenta type thing was perfect. And we're going to start out with P4. Look at me. There we go. There's a lid. P4 for the middle. And then I'm just going to keep on getting light. I kind of just kept it the same as those centers, a little bit darker, even though these flowers are more buckled on the outside. So technically your inside wouldn't be as dark as your outside because it was the first thing that the sun hit. But I just kept it a little bit darker towards the center. The next color was V160, and I think my last one is V050. V050, V050, however you want to call it. Honestly, this coloring came together pretty quickly, especially, oh, no, 20. I think I was going to do 50, but that was not good enough. So 20 it is. There we go. Color came together pretty darn quickly for a little scene, and that's kind of what I wanted. Just a nice, easy transition back into my scene coloring because I just haven't been there. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I did not ground my goose. I'm going to have to go back in and ground my goose. I didn't do any shadows for my goose. What a silly goose I am. I'm just noticing that, guys. So I didn't do any shadowing for anything. So I will go back and probably ground my goose. So if you see that in the main images, you will see that in the main image. We can't just have this little goose flying around here, just floating on that green grass. And then we'll probably ground my little bird feeder too, their birdhouse. I did use some warm grays for my little goose there. I think it was, I did put those ones away. WG50 and then WG 0.5 was the two that I used. And then I just went back and used the same purples and oranges for my hat just to keep some consistency, guys. Like, the main point is keeping a little bit. That's what makes your cards look the best, is consistency. All right, so we have that all done. We did pick out a sentiment and from our same stamp set, the goose set. It says enjoy the sunshine. And we put that on a card base already. Look at us go. Double that up and we're going to glue that down. I love how this card... Oh, one thing, which I don't know, I must have missed the footage on that, is that I did cut out the yellow background with the rectangle scalloped. So cute. I think it added the perfect little dainty touch to this and made it all just come together. I was trying to find that out. I was really looking for an oval scalloped, which Brass and Bliss has, and I just don't think that I have. I don't know how I haven't gotten that one yet. I really need to go through and organize my supplies. So that one will be next on my list of things to get, at least, because that would have been so cute to have a little scallop behind this little duck. But honestly, I think it came out so good. So let's stamp it. And we put it on a card base already. Look at us go. We are actually going to also put this an inside piece, and just using, there was a good stamp. That's the perfect thing about good stamps, is when they have sentiments for the outside and a little bit longer sentiments for the inside. Look at that one. That is like the perfect inside sentiment. And we are off to go. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I will tag everything in the description below, and I will see you next time. Bye.